January the 2nd, 1991, Kasparov was officially proclaimed world champion for the fourth consecutive time. After a heavy fight, Karlov's gold and diamond trophy was presented to him by Michel Noir, the mayor of Lyon. Kasparov was born in Baku in Azerbaijan on the 13th of April 1963. Crowned world champion in Moscow in 1985, he obtained his title against Karpov when he was only 22. The challenger, Anatoly Karpov, was born on May the 23rd, 1951, in the Urals. He was world champion from 1975 till 1985. His style is like that of a boa constrictor. He crushes you slowly but surely.
Gary, we will thank you very much for being with us to explain the games, about the World Championship, and how you won very convincingly this match, 12.5, 11.5, with a big fight, big games, big tension, nice openings.
Since the 1987 World Championships in Seville, the public image of chess has evolved considerably. For the first time ever, the champion and challenger will analyse on screen their fantastic fights. We will begin by considering the different openings employed in Lyon. Then we will consider the critical moments from these games. Finally, the two antagonists will discuss the lessons to be drawn from this historic match.
Get title.
Why this time played e4 instead of your move of predilection, which is d4 that you use usually in the match?
Actually, if you remember, in Seville, I played d4 as well. I played c4, and 2 times I played e4. And having this preparation for this match, Lyon, Lyon, I decided that e4 would fit better my strategical plan. Actually, all Karpov's openings after e4, they do not fit his style. I mean, it's especially Spanish favorite opening. It's not easy for him to understand deeply the positions. He is much better in the Queen's Gambit than in the Spanish, in real office. And in conclusion, I started the preparation and I found so many good ideas. And plus, I very much this line in real office. Played in game 2, 4, 20, 22. I felt very comfortable and very convinced that my position was very good, and it gave me enough confidence to play good chess. And I think it was a very good chess with e4, and Karpov had permanent difficulties in the match. I think he didn't expect e4 in all games. Okay, he expected e4, but not as the main weapon.
And do you think this is a weapon that was the most important in the match for you from the white side?
Oh, it's really important. As explained, I want to repeat it, because of Karpov's preferences on e4. You know, his opening repertoire against e4 fits my style better than his.
But in Sevilla, you played, as you said, c4, sometimes e4, but c4. But it seems also that he had some problems on c4.
Yes, but finally he chose Queen's Gambit, and I couldn't get an advantage in any Gambit. Oh, yes, he had problems, but in Seville it was another story. Actually, White didn't have an advantage in Seville. Okay, when I was White, were White. I guess that it's another sign of this match, and it's another sign maybe of the more modern chess. Black has problem.
Now White is serving like in tennis, and it's very difficult for Black to reply. I mean, this is a first time in a World Championship. No game has been won with pieces.
No, but yes, this is the problem. But I can say that if I want to make draw with White, then I can make it to be sure for 95%. 5% just if I make mistake in one move. But 95% with Kasparov or anybody else. If I need to make draw with White, then I can ensure I can do this. And this is big advantage. With black, I cannot say this.
Kasparov opens e2, e4. This suits his aggressive style, so we can expect to see it a lot during this match. Karpov plays his favourite defence, e7 to e5. White plays knight d1 to f3 to attack the e5 pawn. And black defends it with knight b8 to c6. Now bishop f1 to b5. This move distinguishes the opening as the Roy Lopez.
Why did you play the Scottish game instead of the Ruy Lopez, usual Ruy Lopez? Knight f3.
Before. I had this idea in Spain in my preparation training session. I looked through some very ancient openings. I discovered that in Ruy Lopez, in Scottish game, it's not so obvious and the theory, and the theory conclusion. And I think an interesting position could happen. And I decided to analyze it deeper, and we did a great, I think, very good job during the break here in Lyon.
So this was a result of the break?
Yes, yes. And I said, why not to play this? It's not easy for your opponent to play the new opening. Plus the positions, I mean, didn't fit him, and it played a great role. I mean, I played two, and I've got a big advantage in both openings.
And it brought 1.5 out of 2?
Absolutely, yes.
Which is not something bad.
Yes, yes.
Kasparov experiments with the Scottish opening in games 14 and 16. This opening has not been seen in a World Championship match since 1886. Like the Roy Lopez, the game opens e2, e4. e7, e5. And then g1 to f3. And knight c6. Now the move which gives the Scotch opening its character, d2 to d4.
We're going to talk about the black choices that you had. You played the Grunfeld and you played the King's Indian. Once you said that the Grunfeld is 100% correct. So why did you also play the King's Indian?
Yeah, I think that any opening is 100% correct. It's any normal opening. And it's only a matter of your feelings, your mood, and your preparation. And I have to admit that Karpov prepared a very unpleasant system against Grunfeld. Plus, he prepared, I'm sure, some interesting innovations, which he couldn't show except one, Bishop a6. I think I discovered them. I discovered his home preparation. That's why maybe we played many games behind the stage. I mean, in the home analysis. I think it's really unpleasant. Plus, it's an interesting move order. Bishop a3, Queen d2. It just excludes some possibilities from black. And I have to admit again that it's not easy to organize a counterplay with black. Black could play for the equal position, but he reduced black's opportunities to find for the initiative, to fight for the initiative. And I felt that it wasn't the positions happened in Grunfeld were not sufficient, for my match strategy, and that's why I decided to quit Grunfeld. Plus, I lost the game. Okay, I had a bad position in game 9, very bad in game 15. But anyway, until you lose, you can continue. But when you lose, it's better, especially if you don't like it, better to leave.
Okay, so this is because you didn't like anymore the line. You came back to King's Indian, which is
yes, King's Indian is more solid, But anyway, even in King's Indian, Karpov discovered this system. Bishop is free, and plus Zemich. It's not a story, Zemich, but this bishop e2, bishop is free, to reduce black's active opportunities, which is very unpleasant. And it was the base of his strategy with white, to reduce my active counterplay, and he succeeded with it.
Karpov Karpov prefers to open 1 d4, which suits his positional style. Kasparov always plays knight f6. Now white plays c4. This is a usual follow-up move, grabbing space in the centre. Kasparov plays his usual g6. And Karpov plays knight c3, aiming to advance his e-pawn e2 to e4 to claim the centre. Now the move that gives the opening its character d5, stopping that central pawn first. This is known as the Grunfeld defence and is the favourite weapon of Kasparov. Again, Karpov opens d4. And again, Kasparov's favourite reply, knight to f6. The opening develops the same, c2, c4. And again, g6, the fianchetto of the king's bishop. White plays knight c3. And here Kasparov deviates. He fianchettos immediately that king's bishop. This gives it a distinct character. Karpov grabs the centre with e4. And now Kasparov plays d6. This opening is known as the King's Indian defence and is another favourite of Kasparov's. With the score level at 6-all, Garry Kasparov arrives in Lyon for game 13, accompanied by his wife and his mother. Anatoly Karpov arrives walking alone up the stairs. A round of handshaking. Finally the players come face to face with each other. Karpov opens d4, there's no surprise here. And we have a Grunfeld defence, no surprises yet for either side. On move 10, Kasparov plays e6. Now Karpov advances his d-pawn to d5. Garry Kasparov has something to say about this move.
Not a good move at all. I mean, it's an idea of the variation to organize the passing pawn here, but it's too early.
Karpov's inaccuracy on move 11 is met by Kasparov's inaccuracy on move 15, knight b6. Kasparov felt he had a much better move than this one.
Here I made a mistake, very bad mistake. It's not mentioned here, but knight b6 is a bad move. After knight f6,
knight f6,
c4, queen a3, it's a big advantage for black. Big advantage.
Karpov plays c4, allowing the exchange of queens. Kasparov takes the queen on d2. And Karpov recaptures with the knight. Now Kasparov puts the knight on the edge of the board on a4, and quickly Karpov plays bishop to f3. Now the knight comes into c3, leaving the c5 pawn weakened. Why didn't Kasparov play b6 in this position?
I was afraid after b6 I didn't like knight e4.
and you think now your pieces are misplaced?
Yes, I think it's misplaced. Actually, it's black should try to equalize the position. I mean, they're
You think
slightly
so, you think there's black is slightly worse here? This is your opinion?
I think slightly worse, because if I could play b6 and knight c3 or b6 and f5, then I'm fine.
Kasparov just counted this variation. He played knight c3, and I'm almost sure he didn't see, he overlooked the sacrifice of exchange on c3. Otherwise, black has a good game. But after this sacrifice, white is much better. And so Kasparov should sacrifice back the exchange immediately.
So rook takes.
Rook takes, bishop takes.
Bishop takes.
So knight e4.
Yes.
And then it's very difficult to find good.
So rook takes e4.
Yes, rook takes e4, bishop takes
e4. All this is forced.
Yes, everything is
Rook
forced.
e8.
Rook e8, bishop d3. Then he played b6.
Which is forced.
Which is forced, yes.
And now king g2.
Yes.
This is a good move.
King g2 is not
the best
Maybe
move.
bishop c1, rook c1. Rook c1 was a little bit stronger, just to
attack the bishop.
attack the bishop, and then just not to give me this opportunity f5.
Do you think white is slightly better in this position?
Definitely
better.
Definitely better.
I had another possibility, rook c1 or rook b1, b3, a3.
So you mean rook b1 or rook c1?
Or rook c1 just to kick out the
or rook
bishop from
b1 and
a3.
rook b3?
Yes.
a3.
Just to have an idea to put rook on a3 and to
weaken the structure.
Yes, the structure. But I thought that king g2 should be quite nice, because in this situation I need king to control e4 square for the future.
So this square.
Yes.
I played f5, you know. It looks very risky, but at least it's a chance, you know. I want to attack his weak pawns.
Yeah.
It's dangerous because now I have bad bishop, he has a good bishop, but still I have rooks. It's not so dangerous. I think it's a good move.
You think this is a good move?
I think it should be drawn now.
Suddenly Kasparov played f5. Still, I think position...
What do you think about this move? Is it a normal move or is it a mistake from his part?
I don't know. I'm not sure position is winning for white, but Kasparov was too much afraid to be just how to say this, to be just squeezed in the position, and so he wanted to make something active before the adjournment.
So he didn't want to be tortured the Karpovian way.
Yes, but I don't think white has a real plan to fight for a win.
The game was adjourned, but Karpov proposed a draw. Kasparov accepted, so play did not resume. Game 14 began on November the 26th in Lyon's Palais de Congrès. Kasparov arrives at the board in a mood of concentration. He's prepared something very special for Karpov today. He opens e4. And Karpov arrives at the board somewhat late. Something unusual is happening in this game. Kasparov has played the Scottish opening, which hasn't been seen in World Championship chess for over a century. What does Anatoly Karpov think about that?
I was surprised because Kasparov never played Scottish. Also, I played a very sharp game with Timon, even 2 games, I believe, and one won a beauty prize in London International Tournament, and also a very sharp line. I beat Timon in a nice way. So Kasparov prepared novelty b3. So he played in game number 14. I believe that he got support in Lyon from a side, because in New York he didn't prepare, and I'm almost sure that somebody brought this idea to him in Lyon during the break of the match.
So you think this is a line he has been preparing from the 12th of November until
just between New York and Lyon.
And is it possible in 10 days to prepare a line for the World Championship?
Why not? Why not just to play one game? Especially if you have nice idea like b3. Then you can just work a few days and be sure.
After Karpov plays his 8th move bishop a6, the world champion shares with us the secrets of his preparation.
Karpov won several games with this opening, and normally they all played knight d2 here. Prepare this move b3. It's an interesting line. You know, white is behind black in to develop pieces, but they have some advantages. One is the pawn structure, because if you play f6 or d6, I change pieces and then I have better endgame.
So this is a new move.
Not a new move, but a very rare move. Plus this bishop, you know, very strange what he's doing here. And this black should play very, very active to use this advantage, and it's not Karpov. Plus, yeah, there are many moves in the position, many moves. It's f6, queen h4, long castle, g6, and Karpov played long castle. It's normal reaction, which is maybe not very good. And I play this interesting innovation, g3.
So this is
a new plan, you know, there's double fianchetto, and the idea is just to play isolated bishop, and finally this knight would go back, and plus king is in here. Okay, bishop b2, f6, bishop g2, takes an a5, castle.
So what is assessment now at the moment?
White is better.
White is better.
White is maybe
the pawn is not
better.
important.
Pawn will disappear, but look at the pieces, you know, Karpov tried the only chance. Because if we play normally, you know, I play the central strategy, and
so
yeah, and now I made a serious mistake, like queen d2.
This is a mistake.
I think this is a serious mistake, and it's not a big secret, you know. It's a mistake because look, I have an advantage in the center, and it's for me it's necessary to win the pawn and to change queens. Just to play, why not play rook e1, for instance? Just it's a strength.
After Kasparov's 14th move, queen d2, the fight becomes very tense. As the duel gets underway, Garry Kasparov will give us his impressions after his 18th move, queen takes a7.
Now the position changed, you know. His bishop was very bad here. My bishop was very good here, for instance, his bishop was very bad here. Now his bishop is very good because it plays, you know, it protects king. It plays an important role. My queen is on this end. It's not a bad piece, but anyway, we're not playing now a positional game. We're playing a very tactical game, and it means my positional advantages are not important anymore. It's very good for the end game, you know. And instead of playing in the center, I had to play in the flank. He's playing in the flank. Very complicated. The position now, assessment is unclear.
I think this is one of the best games which we played during this match. Of course, it was much more difficult for me to play this position than for Kasparov because he was familiar with some ideas. Even somebody told me that this position was on their chessboard before the game, but they didn't consider my move. And I think I thought for a long time, and so I could find the best way to get counterplay.
So what was your move here?
This was queen g4, very, very good and very, very interesting move.
And then he played knight a3?
Yes, he played knight a3. This is clear because he wants to bring knight to a6 or to play c5 and knight c4.
So you played h4?
Yes, I have to get some counterplay.
He played knight c2?
Knight c2, yes.
h3?
h3, which is also very important, and probably in connection with queen g4, this was just a great idea, because black has no time just to exchange pawns on the king side, because then they will lose quite soon. But to create some problems to the king, especially with h3 pawn.
H3, very interesting move.
Interesting.
Interesting, yes, interesting move. I played bishop h1.
And now this
But
move.
maybe he could do something better, yes. Knight e4 here. It's a very nice psychological trap, yes. No, tactical trap, f3.
Can we maybe show it?
Yes, d3. Mate.
And mate.
Okay, good.
Players watch each other like hawks. Masha, Kasparov's wife, even looks nervous. Anatoly Karpov too seems tense, as does Gary's mother, Clara. Kasparov stares at the board. And now he drops his queen back to f1. What does Karpov think about this defensive move?
When he should defend the position, I think he defended the best way, and so I must say that this maneuver with queen f1 attack pawn on h3, this was very strong and very good in time pressure. So Kasparov deserves good remarks over his defense in this position.
Both players are now in extreme time pressure. Karpov sacrifices this exchange and Kasparov must recapture. Now Karpov starts checking. You can feel the tension. He checks again and the king goes back to the corner. Another check. The time control seems to have been reached. What does Garry Kasparov now think?
I think it was about equal. I wouldn't need to win too much, and my position was dangerous then. I think it should be draw now.
And now?
It should be draw.
When did you prepare this?
Sorry?
When did you prepare this? This move?
In Spain, and then here we analyzed it. Actually, we prepared the whole strategy here in France. I mean, we wanted to make a surprise.
Okay.
Interesting.
Thank you very much, Gary. Thank you.
The game was agreed drawn, so challenger and champion go into the 15th game with 7 points each. The 15th game of the match. Garry Kasparov studies the board as he waits, and as usual, Anatoly Karpov arrives late. True to himself, Karpov plays d4, and Kasparov has played the Grunfeld defence. He receives a surprise though on the 11th move. What does the challenger think of this?
Right.
Very strong move.
Very strong move.
I mean, he's starting to attack and to mate me. I can always change queens, but then we'll go straight to the very unpleasant endgame for black. And unfortunately, this exchange is the only way to stop the attack.
It's the only way.
I think it's a refutation of the line, e6.
This is a refutation.
Absolutely. It looks very obvious, but
How come that there was such a hole in your preparation?
I think it's because of a very intensive preparation, and we had to do so many things which should be done during the pre-match preparation.
So even the world champion and his team can sometimes miss a simple move, which is like bishop h6.
Definitely.
On move 14, Kasparov swaps off the queens, and Karpov recaptures with king takes d2. As we reach the endgame, Kasparov prepares to defend his position. Move 18, bishop d3. Is Kasparov worried about this move?
He had many plans.
Okay.
Knight e7.
Yes.
I think Karpov had many plans here. He could play g4, g5. He played a good plan.
Maybe it's a problem to have many plans.
He actually had 3 plans, you know.
Yes.
h5, or then h6, or g4, g5, or h5, and the takes and rook h2. It's a problem, but anyway, he had a big advantage.
Karpov gets more pushy. He plays 20, h takes g6. Kasparov recaptures, h takes g6. And now rook to h2.
It's a good plan, because now he wants to force me to change all rooks and then to play e5 and to...
And this is adapted to his style also.
Yes, but he spent a lot of time trying to choose the right plan. because he felt, it's a big advantage, and he didn't want to miss a chance. It was his only chance in the match to take the lead.
Right.
Game 15.
So you
And,
played b6?
I played b6. What else I can do?
Yes.
He
g4?
played g4, yes. And now I made a move, and Kasparov called this suicide.
Yes. What do you think about this?
I think it's practically the only chance.
The only chance.
Because
Otherwise,
if you go straight to the changes, rooks, then it's you play g5 somewhere, and you have very bad end game. The game will be adjourned,
and you will suffer,
will suffer, and probably you will lose.
and
anyway.
probably you lose.
Because it's a big advantage for white.
So it's better to
But after
immediately
e5,
free
yes,
yourself.
you have, after e5 you have some chances, e5.
Some practical
Some
chances.
practical chances.
Kasparov is desperately trying to hold his position. His wife and mother again look worried. The players stare at each other almost aggressively. Can the champion cope with the 25th move, knight d4?
I mean, black's position is not better. I mean, it's still bad position.
Right.
But here, white should do something very,
Precise.
Yeah, precise, because the value of the move is much higher. If he could, play just general moves, here he should play, precise plan. And it's psychologically, it's difficult to change your mind. He was ready to improve the position. Now he should play something really. Because if I could change a couple of pieces, it's a draw. Look, I changed 2 pawns. I got rid of my bad pawns here. Okay, I destroy his center, but he still has very powerful pawn in the center, plus attack against my king.
Karpov struggling to convert his advantage. He plays 28 rook c2. Gaza didn't think much of this move.
Here he made it. Typical, this is a typical psychological mistake. He played rook c2. He didn't want to push pawns. f4 was almost winning.
Almost winning.
Almost winning. Because now I couldn't, if I played bishop g8, then he played rook c2. No, it's not a great choice for black.
And then you cannot free yourself with g5
Yes,
anymore.
e5, yes,
because
e5,
e5 and
yes.
f5.
And for instance, if rook c8, then rook h7 is immediately winning. Because mate is ready. At the end of the story. Probably the best chance, I don't know what was the best chance.
But you mean after this
Yes.
move,
Bad
Karpov
position.
has a very good position,
Big advantage.
and he could take the lead in the match with this
could
game
take the lead on the match,
if
yes.
he could win this game.
Yes, after this move, yes. Bishop g8, rook c2, rook e8 was the only chance. But it's not, it's bad position anyway. But rook c2, he is trying to keep an advantage. And
So typical Karpovian move.
typical Karpov, yes.
This was move which missed the winning chances.
Because here, maybe you agree that after
After 4 position is very difficult.
position is very difficult
Very
for
difficult for black, yes. Probably it's even winning.
So this is one chance that you missed for this match on the game 15, in fact.
Yes, that's right.
It's clear now that the danger for the champion has finally passed. On move 33, Kasparov played knight to d5 check. With it, he offered a draw.
Actually, I had to play the position, but I was so happy that it's a draw. And for me, I felt that it was important that I saved this game, having bad position, and I decided to fight next game. It's normal for the match. Actually, maybe it's wiser to play, but you need another player with another character and with another thoughts. Okay. I made my decision, and actually I won the game 16.
Karpov decides to accept the draw. Now, where did he go wrong?
So I had advantage all the time, but so it was close to win. Yeah, and I missed somewhere.
It was exciting, that's all I can say. I was very much nervous, and Clara also. But I'm glad that it's finished like that, and I'm hoping for the future. I was very much, for my husband,
You thought at the moment that he was
Some
losing?
moments I thought that he was losing, but somehow we survived.
The 16th game of the match began on the 1st of December 1990, and it started a fierce debate on the use of computers in adjournment analysis. It also marked a turning point in the match. Up to this point, Karpov had resisted very well. He could have even gone a point up in the last game. So with the score level, the world champion again opts for the Scottish opening. But this time Karpov's prepared a novelty on move 8, knight to b6. What does Kasparov think about this new move?
Knight b6. I mean, Karpov decided bishop on a6 is not a great piece and played knight b6. I think he underestimated my preparation in Scottish. He thought maybe it's one experience, and he didn't do it properly. And we analyzed knight b6 as well, and very well. And
Karpov deploys his bishop to b4 on move 11, and Kasparov tells us why he's so happy with his next
I'm
move.
sure this move he overlooked in his preparation, home preparation. And it's a very good position of idea. I take on d2. And now if he tries to destroy white pawns here, this pawn is... I push the c pawn, knight d5, b4. I should change probably bishops. It's a very bad position for black.
So white is very comfortable.
Very comfortable, because I can just push pawns here and you cannot stop them easily. You can analyze. It's a big advantage for white.
This game is just one of two disasters in the home preparation which I had in Lyon, because we had this position at home. This is not very far from the new idea, and it was just completely wrong judgment of the position. I think this position is already bad for black. Maybe not so bad as I played. I had better plans, but still the estimation of the position at home was completely wrong. And if I would just consider the problems which I could meet in the game, I would never play this line.
And do you think that instead of bishop b4, if you would have played a5, a4, your problems would be solved?
No, still white is much better here.
White is much better.
Much better, yes. But a4, this was possible, but I think it doesn't solve all the problems.
Karpov's 11th move was an error. He now makes another mistake with 13 d5.
Play d5, which is I look on d5, and here he maybe made decisive mistake. C takes d5.
What should he play?
Queen or knight, any move. And then try to change bishops, and because after c takes d5, rook c1 is almost lost.
And did you analyze this position already?
Rook c1. It was a conclusion that black is in big trouble. This position. I mean, we finished our analysis here.
So preparation with the white pieces was excellent.
Not bad.
Kasparov has a serious initiative. He castles kingside, and now he explains to us where he thinks he went wrong here.
Castle. White is completely winning. H5, and now H3. You know, it's a lazy move. Why not Queen D4? H takes D4, Queen takes D4, and it's a end game completely lost for black.
The game is adjourned. Kasparov seals the envelope and gives it to the arbiter. No parties for either side tonight, because both players will be analysing very hard. Kasparov has missed some chances, but he still has an edge. The arbiter opens the envelope, which contains the seal move. And now he plays the sealed move on the board. Queen to b2. Both players have had all night to think things over. What conclusions have they come to?
Fortunately, I had this move to change queens. I sealed the move. And this is an adjourned position. It's a result of adjourned position.
And how is this position?
Draw.
This is draw.
I think that, okay, practically it's a good chances to win, but as a result of proper defense, I think it's a draw. If you can prove mathematically, I think it's a draw.
The adjourned position was unclear. None of the experts in Lyon knew the right answer as to the result of the game. It seems that the challenger's 54th move, g6, was a mistake. Better was knight c4, followed by the advance of the pawn to obtain a draw. But let's hear Anatoly Karpov. He has some things to say about his adversary's play.
No, I think from the moment where Kasparov got decisive advantage, he started to play very badly. So almost every move just needs to have question mark. What Kasparov played maybe during 10 moves, I don't know. And so he almost missed all the possibilities, and the adjourned position was still difficult for black, but we couldn't find clear winning continuation for white, but at the same time we couldn't find clear draw continuation for black. And I believe Kasparov didn't play the best way during adjournment, and probably he pointed out the moment where I could make draw by force.
Karpov is about to play his 88th move. King to f8, attacking the champion's rook. But Kasparov will adjourn with the advantage. Certainly not going to be easy. He takes care to keep his seal move secret. The second working night will be even longer than the first. Now we're ready for the third session of play. The arbiter plays the 89th move, rook to a7. Kasparov calculates. On a move 102, he plays king a7. And now Karpov must resign. The world champion takes the lead, 8.5 to 7.5. But there's been some controversy about the adjournment.
Different things. It's adjournment at one story, timeout another story. I think the for the next match, something should be done with the adjournment. Computers are important, but if you remember the second adjourned position, I mean, this is we can put the second adjourned position, which was...
What do you answer to the people who say that this is a computer?
No, computer, it was checked, you know, that this is, computer couldn't analyze the position.
So it's only the man who can still analyze this position.
Sorry, Bishop was here. Computer couldn't analyze the position. I mean, computer could, all computers, I mean, because it was checked, you know, you can ask Lugi or Friedel. All computers, they was unable to find a way. I mean, even Deep Soul, the strongest computer, needed the first 5 moves of my plan to find a way.
So this is...
I found it mathematically. I spent 2 hours. Mathematically, it's maximum 17 moves.
So this is the end of the controversy about this?
About this game, yes. There was no controversy. I mean, it was a typical lie spread by, I'm sure, by some people who wanted to reduce the importance of this victory. Nothing to do with the computer. And I told all my friends 2 hours after the adjournment, mathematically won.
So the game is just over, and this is a power of the man, and
Yes.
not the power of the machine. This is very
The
important.
machine is quite weak in this position, even in this position.
And do you think psychologically this was the first, I mean, important moment of the
Oh,
match?
for me it was important because I won the first game in New York. It was game 2, and then for certain games I didn't win, which is not very comfortable. And after this game I was much more confident. Okay, that's game 16 then game 17. But anyway, I've got a confidence. Even game 17 didn't break the confidence.
Because you...
Because I felt better, okay. I felt like I was able to beat Karpov, I mean, to win the game.
This game showed that, and it was very strange for me because position was quite easy to find a plan, winning continuation, but Kasparov just wanted to join the game, and he didn't want even to think over the board. It was quite clear because for quite a long time he was thinking, just spending time. He wanted to join and to get help of his seconds. And I believe that if you want to have clear competition, so we should eliminate adjournments as much as possible. It's not easy because then a game of chess would be quite long, but still then we have a clear picture who is better over the board but not with the second.
The 17th game was played on the 5th of December 1990. Karpov decided not to take a timeout after his defeat in game 16. The challenger suffered a blow to his pride and he's hot for vengeance. The world champion again chooses Grunfeld defence. This time it's Kasparov's turn to produce a novelty. On move 9 he plays bishop g4. What does the champ think about this move?
Maybe it's a new move. I didn't discover the games played by this move, but the idea is quite obvious, actually. And I would consider the next Karpov move as a new idea.
I decided to play something which probably they would not analyze. And I had the right guess. When I played knight g5, Kasparov was very surprised.
What is your assessment at this moment?
This is still open question for theory, but it was unexpected and it gave result. Because in the whole match and in previous matches, the most difficult thing for me with Kasparov was and is just to find position which he didn't analyze at home. And when we have fight over the board, then he has no any advantage. So that's why it was quite clever.
It's very interesting, knight g5.
So what is your assessment about this move?
I think it's a very good move.
A very good move. And do you think Karpov prepared before, or he found it? He prepared
No
this.
doubt.
No doubt.
White is in trouble because white has an advantage in the center, and I mean, I played the obvious line. I took here, played knight c6, h3, bishop d7, rook b1, favorite Karpov's move. Rook c8. He cannot take here because I take on d4.
That's.
I play knight f3.
Maybe you can show to.
For instance, take here, takes here, take here, take here. Rook c1, yes. King d2, rook d1, yes. King takes d1, bishop a4, check.
Very nice. That wins the queen.
Yeah, that wins the queen.
Kasparov is trying to wriggle out of a difficult position, but Karpov wants the full point. The challenger plays a sharp 18th move, bishop to g5. Kasparov seems rather bewildered. Let's ask the champion about this move.
Bishop d5. And
What do you think about this move?
Good move.
Good move.
Very good move. And it's, I saw that it was another recommendation. Yes, d5 here.
Yes.
Which is not very good. And a6, knight d4, and e6. And then black's idea is working, you know. This is very strong square, and it's...
And now the center of white is destroyed.
Destroyed
suddenly.
completely. Okay, I have bad pawns, but anyway, it's just even if you can do it.
Maybe you can...
Yes, I can maybe... No, e7. I cannot
E7.
take yes, E7.
Yes.
No, I take here. And it's, I'm in attack. No, I think Karpov played it very well. He played bishop g5, a6, rook c1. And again, the same problem. What to do? You know, maybe it's the best move in the position to play f6. And after the bishop is e6, you know, trying to stop it and having this for post strong. But in the game, you know, I saw this is a draw. I took here, he took here, I took here, and it's a normal position. And suddenly I discovered some problems. Because this obvious move, for instance, there's a queen a3 possibility to go to the end game, which is a little bit dangerous because the pawn is coming. And another possibility just to simply play queen e2, knight c4, d5. You're still in trouble. Yeah, and but major problem was knight c4. I want to play knight c4. Bishop is suddenly I discovered bishop e7, knight is take here, rook takes e4, d5, and the pawn is very dangerous. You know, if you're afraid d pawn, you don't have to play Greenfield defense. And later on, I discovered that it should be draw after d6, queen d7, very strong move. If you take your rook, no, it's not easy. You know, still black is still slightly worse because they should be very accurate. Actually, if you make any move, for instance, queen c2 here, then rook c1. Actually, I calculated it. Take rook c6, and you are in big trouble because you're losing the pawn. You cannot move it. It's a queen now. You cannot stop it. For instance, and I discovered these difficulties in the game, and I was a little bit in panic, and then it's played move which defended me from these dangerous endgames, but it was the pawn, but actually it's a positional blunder, the same level like in game 7. After this move, black is lost.
After this move, black is lost.
Completely lost. I mean, yes, completely lost. Rook c1, and he won c line.
And this is...
Completely lost, no chance.
No chance at all?
No chance, completely lost. I mean, he has this all positional advantages.
So it's not only a slight advantage here.
Here, completely lost.
Karpov plays knight d2. Let's see how the challenger feels about this position.
Knight d2, this was a very strong move. And after this, Kasparov just collapsed. In few moves, he lost the game.
But where is his mistake?
Just a decisive mistake came immediately. He exchanged knights.
Bishop takes.
Bishop takes, and then he played rook c8, which was the last mistake, I believe. After
What is other possibility for him to hold the position?
Of course, it's not clear because this position is quite difficult, but probably bishop e5, you should play something like this.
Bishop e5, so would
Just,
give him better chances.
Just try to hold the position, because if rook c6 now, maybe e6, just trying to exchange one pawn and still to fight. And after he played rook c8, he just lost decisive tempo with rook c6, and after this position is completely lost.
After 34 moves, black's position is grim. Bishop f4, and instantly Kasparov played queen d7. Rook c7 hitting the queen. Karpov starts to turn the screws. The queen has to go back to d8. This looks very grim for the champion. d6. My god, that can't be taken because of the pin on the king. This looks horrible. Kasparov lashes with g5, hitting the bishop, Karpov just ignores it and advances the d-pawn, hitting that rook. So if Kasparov grabs the bishop, the challenger can just grab the rook on e8. This looks absolutely awful. I've never seen the champion so humiliated. The rook has to go to f8. Karpov checking his calculations, drops his bishop back to d2. Now this looks very easy indeed for white. Bishop to e5, hitting the rook on c7. Just rook b7, moving the rook out of the attack from the bishop. The d7 pawn is like a monster in black's camp. Yes, and the world champion concedes the game. What a fantastic victory for Karpov. Let's hear Tolya's verdict on this incredible game.
It was a very complicated game, but I had advantage always, from small till big at the end. But he made one mistake, and after this, it was very difficult to save the game, because probably b5 was not so great, and then after he played rook e8. This is suspicious move. And after rook e8, I think I got almost winning advantage. Yes. But I should play very strong, like rook c6, bishop c3, all these moves, bishop a5, like now.
Game 18 starts on December the 8th, 1990. Kasparov received a body blow in the last round, but he's not the kind of champion to run from the fight. Let's hear how he's feeling about the game, and try and get an insight into his opening choice.
Decided that it's time for Ruy Lopez because I prepared Ruy Lopez as well, and it's a Scottish played their role, and I decided to go to the normal Ruy Lopez line. Especially Karpov didn't show the good defense in New York.
As usual, Karpov arrives late. Is this part of his psychological warfare? In any case, there's war enough on the chessboard. Karpov produces a novelty on move 13 with knight b6. Let's hear what Kasparov has to say about this move.
Knight b6, it's a novelty. Interesting idea.
Compared to New York, because in New York he played something else.
Knight a5.
Yes.
It doesn't change the position. Bishop f4, one of the many possibilities. I spent a lot of time thinking about it.
After 20 moves, the world champion had used 1 hour and 10 minutes. Karpov, less than 15 minutes. Karpov plays rook b8, and Gaza gives us his opinion on this move.
Rook b8. It's a critical position.
How can you explain that at that moment you thought a very long time,
Yeah, I spent...
and Karpov spent only 14 minutes?
Yeah, he analyzed it at home, it was a preparation, but I think he played it too fast because he didn't believe, he doesn't like to sacrifice pawns. Probably he was convinced that it's a good idea, and it's after queen d2 c6 he can open all his bishops to destroy my center. But as a great player he felt something was wrong, and he was right.
And how can he feel that it is wrong and play it still?
Yeah, you know, but maybe he was convinced by the coaches. I mean, they saw lines, yes, it's fine, but...
Isn't it a lack of professionalism not to go and to check what are telling you also?
Karpov again, I mean, he sometimes he trusts coaches. I mean, he's not checking himself.
You,
And,
you mean that you never trust coaches and you check all the lines?
I trust, but I check all analysis. Sometimes I can make a mistake, my own, but I check all analysis. I don't. Normally I play my ideas. I mean, it's just 9 ideas out of 10, my mind. Queen c4. I mean, it's a very strong move. I mean, it's easy to explain. He had bad bishop. He wants to destroy my center, and then it's all the quality of his pieces will become strong. After queen c4, he cannot improve. He cannot destroy my center, and this pawn is okay. It's not important. Rook a2. If he goes back, then knight b5. If he takes, I take here, and at the position without any counterplay. With this weakness and
so you think this is
big advantage for
very big advantage?
Big advantage for white.
This is just the second disaster we had in our preparation, and that's why I must say that our preparation was not perfect during the match. We had this position, and so we just didn't pay too much attention to a very strong reply, queen c4, because we considered queen d2.
So what did play here,
and knight
Kasparov?
b5. Knight b5 we thought maybe was the most complicated and best move. But Kasparov played very simple and very strong, queen c4.
So queen to c4.
Yes, queen b4, c4. And after this, probably white has already advantage very close to decisive.
Very close to decisive.
Yes, I spent here maybe more than 1 hour, and I couldn't solve the problems. Of course, the best practical chance was just to take on b2.
So bishop takes b2.
And then rook a2.
Rook a2.
Yes, and just try to hold this position as bishop f6.
Bishop f6.
But then knight b5, and position is very difficult.
Knight b5. And your, I mean, judgment is that this position is almost winning for white, or?
But very, very good.
Very good.
Very good for white, because I must exchange 2 knights, and any bishop I exchange would bring additional problem. If I exchange white color bishop, then I have hole on c6. If I exchange black color bishop, then my white color bishop is terrible on b7.
So you mean this is a particular case in chess where 2 bishops are weaker than 2 knights?
Yes, because they are just have no space.
No life.
No life. Yes, this bishop just controls empty diagonal, and this bishop in trap, just in the net. And I cannot even move this bishop, not to a8, not to a6, b6, c8. Then this pawn is hanging, and no place to bring this bishop. So this position is very bad.
Karpov's preparation has not been a success. It certainly has not caused the world champion many problems. Between move 20 and move 24, black's position visibly deteriorated. On move 25, Kasparov played queen takes d4. Karpov captured the pawn on c6, and he's now a pawn down. Is the position already lost?
I wouldn't say that it's lost. I think I made 6 very strong moves in a row here.
So you think you still have to play very precisely
Yes,
in
it's
order...
typical Karpov, you know, that's some good chance. Look, knight is here, it's not a good knight. Bishop is strong, the pawn is weak. This pawn here, taking this pawn. There's some chances. And I made serial of very good moves. I was very proud of these moves. As I played b4, it's an important move.
First strong move.
Yes. For instance, if he goes take, I then can take and play b5, you know, tactical possibilities. He cannot take because it's pinned. And if he goes bishop and then knight c4, knight takes d6.
But we can maybe explain
Yes.
to our people.
Rook b1.
And after this move...
Yes, I take here, take
takes,
here, take here,
takes,
rook takes
takes.
b5, rook a8, mate.
And this is mate.
Mate. Good.
So first very strong move.
b4. He played rook e6, rook e3, h6, just in case. f3, very important move.
And very strong.
Very
Position
strong.
is very solid in the
Yes,
center.
you know, he has a white square bishop, I put pawn here, rook c8, rook b3, preparing
to
use the pawn, yes.
win piece,
Yes,
threatening this
threatening
move.
b5. Played here. What did he play here? Wait a second. Queen, bishop b5, and rook b2. Very important move. Knight is coming now.
And now that the knight is coming,
Yes, knight is coming. That's the end of the
now
story.
we can say that it's
yes,
the end of the game.
Now it's the end of the game because knight is coming. I saved all my advantages and I've got my knight here.
So first of all, we can maybe make a summary of the situation. Karpov came with a prepared line.
Yes.
Then he made his opening, but it didn't work.
Yes.
You had a better position, and then you played 6 consecutive
Yes.
strong moves
Yes.
to reach this position.
Yeah.
And
Which
now
is-
the knight is coming there,
Yes,
and this is over.
Over. Absolutely.
Kasparov is to adjourn. He will think for 20 minutes before sealing his 41st move. Karpov's position is untenable. Still, he will return on the next day to check the champion's analysis. On move 55, Karpov plays h takes g4. Kasparov simply recaptures. Rook back to f6. The world champion plays 57, rook c4, cutting off the black king. This forces Karpov to resign. So Kasparov is in the lead again. Is the challenger depressed?
How do you explain you lose this match?
You mean game?
Yes.
Because match is not over.
Okay, yes. This game.
Yes, this game, so unfortunately we made another mistake at home. And so position till move queen c4 we had at home, and it was clear because I played very fast. And then after queen c4, this is just very bad position. And so it's pity and sorry that you lose game at home.
Here is Karpov's mansion, where his team of analysts work round the clock on his adjournments and opening preparation. But let's hear his views on his opponent's team.
Normally he has better preparation, and of course it depends on the team. He has a much stronger team.
Yes.
I mean, with bigger names, and for several years already. So they prepare him ideas. This is much easier than you work on your own.
Anatoly is hardly on his own. He has both Ron Henley and Lajos Portish with him. As the snow falls on the 12th day of December, Game 19 gets underway. Karpov, trailing by a point, will be trying to pull level again, just like he did in Game 17. After his defeat with the Grunfeld, the champion has wisely switched to the King's Indian. On move 10, Kasparov plays knight a6, and he has a few things to say about the move.
He made a very good decision here. He left king in the center, because then it's the only active platform for black to attack here. But if there's no king, what you can attack? Played knight d2.
Karpov desperately needs to win this game. He continues to maneuver by playing 17, rook b1.
And what is your assessment in this position?
Black was slightly worse. You know,
Slightly
worse. It's maybe queen g5 was trying to organize something here. I played b6, and he played knight f1. And it's an unpleasant position because Black should do something here. I mean, it's how?
And now you played this move, bishop f4.
It's
very interesting.
it's a move just to, it's kind of positional trap for Karpov, you know. It's nothing to do with this move. I don't know what to do, for instance, after h4, but I didn't see the possibilities, what I can do in the position. I mean, how can I improve it? My knight cannot come to g7, it's probably too late. And it worked out, it worked.
He played g3.
Very bad.
Very bad move.
This is very bad, very unusual for Karpov, you know. He weakened his pawn structure. It's a pride of his position. And then I went back, he played h4. Actually, it's a unique game for Karpov. After 20 moves, he pushed all his pawns.
In his life?
I think he never did it.
So we've seen sparring on both sides of the board. Karpov now looks towards his king side and plays king to h1.
Here I was really surprised by his move. Obviously, Black wants to open the game. I mean, I expected b5, and I thought maybe this is draw. I didn't want to open the game here. And suddenly he played king h1. Very bad mistake, in my opinion. Take here, and of course a5. He played knight f5, but take. Take on b4, rook takes b4. Now the game is open, but look, all black pieces are coming. Of course, I don't want to take this pawn. Not as knight, rook b6, knight e4. Black is big. And by the way, it's a good puzzle for the chess player. Which knight is on e4, knight f6? Where is knight g8? Where is knight b8? What is a knight here?
This is a knight b8?
Yes.
And this one is a knight...
Yes, g8. And this knight comes knight f6, g4, h6, f7, d8, b7, c5, e4.
So this is a mathematical problem.
Yes, mathematic problem.
As he approaches time pressure, Karpov speeds up. Many people were sure that Kasparov would win again. But suddenly he plays rook c1 and proposes a draw. The audience are very confused. Let's consult the players about this rather strange result.
c1.
And here...
I think I did everything great by the moment. I mean, the position is winning for Black.
This is what we thought. And so people started to talk...
Yeah, wait. After queen b2 is the only move is winning. Which I saw and I wanted to make. No, I don't think it's winning. I think it's not obvious at this point. Queen a8.
Queen a8 is the only winning move.
Yeah, it's winning move. Although this move, I didn't find a defense for white. I saw this move, but I can tell the reason is quite simple. I wasn't in the big defense in the beginning of the game. Later I played h6, I thought, okay, it's a draw, and I expected that he played b5, close the position. Suddenly I've got initiative. You know, I understood that the game will be adjourned, I had to analyze it, and I wanted to prepare better for the game 20. I didn't prepare myself psychologically to win the game, but I think that was a crime against chess. And as a punishment, I had to play very bad at German in game 21. Everything, as you know, is justice in chess. And offering the draw, I wanted to avoid the adjourned game. I wanted to save some nerve energy. And as a result, I had a very difficult analyzing the dangerous position in game 21.
So...
yeah, I think the player of my level couldn't afford to offer draw in the position. Any move was very good. Okay, but this move was probably winning.
In this game, I must say that this was only one game in which I suffered with white, mostly because of overestimation of my possibilities after the opening. I decided that in this static situation on the king side, white would have chances to get advantage, but in reality it happened that I couldn't even hold the position, and this blockade was very good for black. And of course this game Kasparov should win. Kasparov just didn't want to have any risk because he was 1 point ahead in the match. In very nice situation, he didn't want to have any risk. And of course, it's difficult just in a few minutes after a very long session to estimate correctly if black can win or not, because Kasparov should make, after queen b2, he should make important decision.
The 20th game was played on December the 15th, 1990. This day will go down in chess history.
At this moment, I took a decision to have risk, to take risk, because it was hardly could be considered that I can win two white games out of 2, and just to get title back, I should get lead with 2 points, 2 points out of last 5 games, and so we can come back to this old and as we called archaic rule in the chess. In the history of chess, when in case of draw, world champion maintains his title. So I believe nowadays we should eliminate this rule because it gives a lot of advantage to world champion. And so I just decided to take risk to fight for the title.
This will be a battle without mercy. Both sides eagerly enter a sharp variation of the Roy Lopez. Karpov plays 17 f5. What's Gaz's verdict?
That's a good positional idea, just to destroy white center, but one consequence, king.
So were you surprised by the aggressive attitude of Karpov?
It's a psychological result of the game 19. Probably I won the game 20 by offering the draw in game 19. And Karpov saw that maybe I'm just having 1 point lead, I will hesitate in any complicated situation, and he decided, to fight. Because in this position, white should be very, confident. Because sometimes you have to sacrifice. Positionally, you are in trouble because he had an advantage in the center. And you should attack without hesitations. And he thought maybe it was an advice of his psychologist. He decided to play this line.
And what do you think about his choice? Of course.
It was quite obvious for him in the situation, but I think it's a bad choice because I play this position much better than Karpov. I mean, I feel it much better, Plus, I was encouraged by his king, and he underestimated my confidence. I mean, his game 19 was normal. I mean, I was programmed for draw, and I offered draw. But here I was programmed to crush him, and I did it.
I was choosing very sharp line, as I told, just to fight with Kasparov. And also, we could remember not very successful set of games, Spanish opening in Leningrad match in '86, when I played also a very sharp line with not f5 but c4. So it is a choice of black if they play sharp or they try to survive in quiet but difficult variations of Russian defense or others, or Karakan or other possibilities.
So you think this is the good choice for that day, for this game?
Yes, I think it was correct choice.
The position is still known to both players. But Kasparov is the one to find a new idea.
Rook e3, knight f6. This is almost 0-2,
yes.
And this is a new move, knight h2. An interesting move, I opened this because knight here is not attack, and sometimes he can go to g4. And Karpov, he played king h8.
Is it a good move?
Who knows? It's not a bad move. I mean, he's trying to improve his king.
Probably Kasparov didn't analyze this move because he looked surprised.
Karpov has sheltered his king in the corner, but Kasparov's determined to get at it. He plays b3.
b3. Now king is here, and this is bishop is coming to this diagonal. He played c4, which is a...
No, he took first.
Oh, he took first, yes.
Was it good to take first? Wasn't it better to take here
Maybe,
first?
maybe, but anyway, White had an attack,
After
for
f takes
instance,
e4, knight
as we
takes.
discussed, rook f3, for instance. Another possibility for White. And anyway, the bishop is coming, and look, all these 7 pieces in the attack.
So
Something could happen.
So the style of Gary fits very well to this kind of
not only
position.
style. I believe that positionally, White is right. You know, they did everything well. You know, they attacked the king.
You played c4.
Yes.
Some people are wondering why you didn't play first f takes e4,
No, then
and after knight takes e4, knight takes d5, and if rook g3, then knight f6.
no, I simply didn't like this position because of too many possibilities for White. Very good bishops, diagonals.
On the king, you mean?
Yes, yes. And in this case, if I wanted to take pawn on d5, just to open diagonals, then I first of all, I shouldn't exchange pawns.
You
if
think
I would take on e4.
You think this was so maybe...
No, just if I would like to play f
Yes.
to e4, I should play it immediately, not
Yes,
to open
yes.
additional diagonals. Just diagonal a2, g8. But in this position, I didn't like that my king's position is very weak, because probably White just can take, queen takes, and knight g4. So too many pieces over one poor king.
Kasparov wants to prove that the black king is vulnerable. His 22nd move deploys the bishop to b2, where it aims on the long diagonal against the black king.
Bishop b2. But anyway, his position is complicated. I mean, it's not...
You don't think this is really much better for White?
No, I think it's complicated. He took here.
Now I took on e4. This move is very useful because in case of emergency I can always play knight d3 and to close one bishop and attack another one. But I have this possibility to bring knight to d3, to close b1 bishop and to attack b2 bishop. So this was the main idea.
Karpov knows his king position is weak, so he counters in the centre. On move 22, he captures the e-pawn. Kasparov recaptures with knight takes e4. Is it all going according to plan?
I took here, and it's now the choice between rook g3 and queen h5, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good line for it. And knight takes h3, queen takes h6, king g8, and now knight g5. Show the problem. G takes h6, bishop h7, mate.
So you can sacrifice the queen and make a mate in chess.
Yeah, on h, yes, you can. It's very nice. But after queen h5, black could play c3 or rook e5 even. Sacrifice an exchange and then to get good chances because knights are coming and there's no attack anymore. I decided to play an attacking with rook g3. All pieces are the rook e6.
Is it a good move?
I don't know.
Nobody knows, huh?
Nobody knows. You should analyze the position. I had a choice. Knight f3 is an interesting possibility as well, but I decided to play knight g4. And here I think the only move was knight d3. To sacrifice pawn, but at least to kill one bishop, which is very dangerous. And Karpov played the move, you know, is a general move, queen e8, which is a very good move, just to pin my knights, protect white squares. You know, that's a problem of his style. I mean, he's playing the position where general moves are not good. He's not looking for the best move. Here, you should play for the best move because you have 9 obvious moves and they're
Because the
lost.
king is weak.
Yeah, because it's not a normal value of chess, normal scale of chess values, because he has a big advantage here, but I'm attacking his king, and that's why you should you should change your scale in your mind. Karpov couldn't do it. He played normal move, which is lost by 4.
So let's see Kasparov play this move. Rook g3.
So this was a little bit too emotional, I believe. Rook g3, the whole attack. It brought Kasparov the world title, so you can criticize him. But I think
You believe this position is good for white? What is your impression?
No, I thought during the game that I had already good position, and
Because you played a very good defensive move. It looks like rook e6 is good because it's defending already h6
yes,
and giving some place maybe for the rook also to come
yes, I
later
wanted
on.
to connect my pieces, my rooks.
So Kasparov played knight g4, and after this move, you committed probably the decisive mistake. Which
Yes, just it was. At this moment, I thought that my position is such a good that I must consider already how to win the game. But still, I should be careful, as game showed that white had good chances for attack. So the easiest way was just to play knight d3. Still, white has some chances to try to exploit the weaknesses of black king's position.
And so you think that after queen e8, the game is over. This is a decisive mistake.
I think so. Yes, I think so.
So the rest is just, I mean, a matter which is not too difficult to play between the best players in the world.
Yes. So it was just quite easy.
No, the move that Karpov was so unhappy with. Queen e8. He felt this was a critical error. Does the champion share his opinion on this move?
Queen e8 was a bad mistake. Queen e8. After knight takes c6, I think I had winning attack. The only defense was knight d3. You know, he had to change one bishop, because after knight takes h6, rook takes h6, knight takes d6. It's for force, and c3 he played knight f5, c takes queen g4. I didn't see. Okay, maybe you'll find the defense, but I didn't see how he could protect the position after queen g4, for instance, queen h4, check, king g8, king h2 simply, and so many threats I have. You know, I have 6 pieces in the attack. It's too much for one king.
Kasparov returns for the kill.
Knight takes h6.
So he did not see this move?
He didn't. I didn't calculate it properly. I knew that it should won.
I saw you playing very quickly this
yeah,
move over the board.
I didn't calculate. It's just, I saw several lines. White's winning because it's. I have 7 pieces in the attack: 2 bishops, 2 knights, 2 rooks, and rooks is attacked to queen. He has some pieces protected. Okay, rook, 2 pawns, and bishop, and maybe queen. Okay, we can change. You know, it's an equal change. I change 1 attacking piece for 1 defensive piece, but I have enough pieces to make him.
So let's have a look. Knight takes.
h6. He played c3. You know,
and
to
now,
close this bishop.
why didn't he take?
Okay, if he takes here, it's very nice. I took knight takes d6. Now I can show you many good, interesting lines. Number 1, if he's trying to escape with his queen d7. Then I played queen g4. Queens. If he takes here, then bishop takes d7, mate.
So bishop takes.
Bishop takes, queen takes.
This is mate.
Mate, yes. If he takes
your queen
with
now.
the rook, wait, so
Yes.
then check. And he cannot
Because of
because
check.
check, and this is pinned. The pawn is pinned, and the king g8 is a mate in several moves. Bishop h7, bishop g6, and queen h7 mate. If he takes my queen, then it's a very nice combination. Check, the only move. Check, check, king f7, bishop g6, check, king g8, the only moves. Bishop f5, bishop e6, king g8, bishop takes e5, check, and bishop takes b7.
And so you have a nice investment, which is a rook up.
Yeah, rook up
after
all
this combination.
Yes, and but it's not the end of the story. Actually, this line I saw at the board. But some other I found after. It proved that I was right, you know. In this position, he could go queen h5. And here I played rook g5. You cannot take here because knight f7 check and take the queen. If you take here, it's interesting, you know.
Knight check.
Check, king h8, rook takes d1 and c3. And it looks very good for black because it's now the pawn is closed, bishop is hanging, c2 is threatening, but suddenly knight f7 check, king g8, bishop g6, c takes b2, rook h5.
And
There is no defense.
Wonderful.
It's a mate, again mate.
It's wonderful.
It's mate again.
So you had the feeling for this position.
The feeling, yes. And final, I can show you the final. If he sacrificed queen, I mean just in this position, if he sacrificed queen by playing queen takes e1, rook takes d6. Then I played queen e4, threatening mate, knight d3, queen h4 check, king g8, bishop takes g7, and queen g4.
And no defense.
No
the rook
defense.
cannot defend because queen takes.
And that's all.
And this is over. All the pieces are
all of it,
disconnected.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't think Karpov saw it, but he felt that this is bad. He didn't take my knight.
He was confident in your calculations or in your feeling.
Maybe in my feelings.
He was just
He
confident.
tried to close this bishop, you know. It's fine, but now this bishop is very strong. See,
So first of all, you gave one piece. Now you're sacrificing another piece.
Yeah, another piece. Okay, he killed this bishop, but this bishop now, he cannot close it anymore.
And
This
he
bishop
gave
is
you
very
some
strong.
tempi, which is
Tempi,
important
yes.
in chess.
Yes, absolutely. And I still have 6 pieces in the
So
attack.
6 instead of 7. This is not a big loss.
But no, there's no pawn, you know.
But one defender less, as you said
Yes.
before. So instead of 5, now 4 defenders.
Yes, and it's not enough. He played bishop c8, trying to
have some play.
queen h4 check. If he goes king g8, then simply king h2 and no defense on knight g5.
Knight g5 and then queen h7.
And mate. Yes.
Mate.
He's trying to stop me. Rook h6, take, king h2.
Very strong move.
An important move, you know. Just now my knight can go because rook is hanging without check. Queen e5, knight g5, king f6, queen f6, rook e8. Now I have only 5 pieces in attack, but you know, just 3 defenders left. And it's just 5 very powerful
So it
pieces.
was 7-5, 6-4, and now 5-3.
5-3, yes. 5-3, yes. And
So
anyway,
still the proportion is still
yeah,
very
but
difficult.
5-3 is much more dangerous than 7-5, you know. And for instance, any move, if you got bishop b7 here, then it says I have the same combination, but mate
Immediately.
immediately. He made the only move just to avoid the mate in 3, but anyway, it's here I play this very nice move. Queen takes h6.
This is fantastic because in a world championship, it is very unusual to have queen sacrifices.
Yes, queen sacrifices. Yes, this is true. Queen takes h6, knight f7 check, queen g6, and here it's unforgivable mistake. You know, you should
Yes.
take with the rook. Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to take all his pieces, you know, from the board.
Because after rook takes g6,
It's a mate. Yes,
you would mate him just by removing the rook next move.
Yes, this is true. Knight e7, then I took on e7, bishop takes e7, and rook g.
And rook
mate.
here, checkmate, because no square for the king,
No.
and it is mated with the bishop.
Yeah, unfortunately, this bishop could. Okay, I took his queen with the bishop.
And I think the rest is just...
Yes, and this is- okay, I have an extra rook again.
So, do you think, Gary, this was the crucial game of the match?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, yes. It's not the last game, but it's anyway. It was extremely important, and the match was won.
Because
Okay,
after,
I saved the title after this match. The match wasn't won, but I saved the title.
It was difficult to believe that I could win the match, but still I could make a draw, which I missed in the last game. I just decided to forget about title, about the whole match, but just to win this micro match or mini match out of 4 games, which I succeeded. At least one small task was fulfilled.
We are now about to witness the magic of Garry Kasparov. The world champion checks his calculations. It's really important to be accurate at a time like this. He has to restrain himself. Clearly, Kasparov's very excited here. One last check. Now the incredible move. Queen takes h6, sacrificing the queen. The time control's reached, and Kasparov lends Karpov his score sheet to copy up. And Karpov concedes. What an incredible game by Garry Kasparov.
I mean, it's the most, I don't think it's the best game, but it's the most effective for the public.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's over and I'm happy, and I think that I believed from the beginning that this game will be very, very successful. I really believed it. Although there were hard times sometimes, but I believed all the time. I think that Garry is more than happy. Thank you.
I'm very satisfied. I mean, I've got the initiative, and it's okay. I offered draw in the almost winning position in the game. It's 19, and now finally I won the game in my old style.
Because maybe he wanted to beat you too much, no?
No, I think it's he played the only tactic to fight for the match, because after game 19 he saw that maybe I wouldn't take too much risk, and that's why he decided to fight today. Okay, he's a great fighter. I mean, what he could do, I mean, he could play the defensive chess, but you know, Karpov is not the player who is satisfied with just. I think he doesn't care to lose too much or to lose 1 point. He wanted to win the match, and that's why he decided to fight. Bad luck.
Game 21 starts on December the 19th, 1990. Kasparov arrives looking confident, with good reason. The challenger now needs 3.5 out of the last 4 games to gain the title. This seems like an impossible task, but Karpov will fight against fate. And Kasparov will come to name this game the punishment.
The punishment.
The punishment,
Yes,
we can
yes,
call this
yes,
game,
yes.
Garry.
The challenger never surrenders, and Garry Kasparov will come to learn this by the end of the match. Again, Kasparov chooses a King's Indian defence, but this time Karpov deviates by playing 5 f3. This is known as the same-ish variation. On move 17, however, Karpov goes wrong with bishop to c2.
Knight g3 could give him an advantage.
Knight g3 would give an advantage
Yes.
to Karpov.
Yes,
But
seriously.
instead
He
of
played
that,
typical Karpov move, bishop c2.
Bishop
If
c2.
I played king, he played bishop c2. And now after knight f6, the position is very good because I want to go on d7, and this pawn is sometimes...
but how can you explain that he plays such a
Karpov,
move?
now just wait, you know. Sometimes he refrains from the very aggressive
Why?
combinations, just to wait the better moment. It's his style.
Of course, with bishop c2, I lost opening advantage.
So Karpov decided to return the bishop to d3. Was this a good idea?
Now, probably he made the best move. Strong character, you know. Not many players would admit it.
So he admits his mistake and he
Absolutely.
comes back. So you think this is a
tempos, yes.
very courageous move to
Yes,
play this in
very
this moment.
powerful, yes.
The chess player must recognize when he played a bad move, even if he has to show it to the opponent.
No, otherwise, you can be immediately punished.
Karpov is manoeuvring in Karpovian style. His knights are hopping around. The c3 knight hops into d5. What an outpost.
Here I made a mistake. I took on d5. I should take here. And if he takes here, I have a good counterplay. If he takes with the bishop...
You mean if he takes with the
Yes,
pawn,
I
then
play-
bishop g4
yes,
attacking the
yes,
rook with
yes.
counterplay.
If he takes here, then I took on d5. He cannot take with the bishop because queen c7 and knight is a
It's
problem.
not in...
Yes, he should take with knight.
Yes.
And then b5. And the position in the game, which he refused to play, Karpov.
This is the position
So
because he took with the pawn
Yes. And
later on.
This is a good position for black. Because this knight is not very solid.
And then you're going to have to push in the center later.
If yes, but or I have an attack. I mean, he doesn't have the control, the open F line, and black is okay. Here black is okay, and I took here with the bishop immediately in the position. He took with knight. I took here on e4, and he took with the pawn. And now after b5, I don't have the same effect because the knight is very strong.
But what is your assessment at that point?
White is slightly better.
Ever since Kasparov's mistake on move 22, the challenger has been increasing his advantage. What does the world champion think about his position after he plays 28, queen to d8?
Queen d8, yes, I have to activate my queen. It's the problem I cannot attack him here. I don't have enough pieces.
And you think white is still better here?
Definitely. It's the problem, another problem that this is, all endgames are very bad for black. Any change of piece gives good advantage here because this pawn is very weak and, you know, as it happened. He had to take here, he had to give out the bishop. He takes d4, queen e2. And I realized that it's not easy for black. And I think I made a mistake here, queen h4.
This is a mistake.
Queen g5 was much stronger. Because now if he tried to change the line, then I take here, and queen coming on d2, key square. Or I can threaten queen g3. After queen h1, he played rook f1, and if now I take here, queen g3, knight b4, I didn't see how to equalize the position. It's worse for black. Because, you know, the same problem. All endgames are bad. And the problem, I found the best chance. I tried to keep the rooks. Because with rooks, the pawn are not so dangerous. I mean, until I have rooks, I have some counterplay, and his king is with trouble. He played rook f4, queen g5, a3, bishop h5. Endgames are very dangerous because I'm losing this pawn. I play h5, and he made very strong move. Maybe it's a blunder, but he made a very strong move.
Maybe he didn't...
Maybe he didn't understand that it's a very strong move. Actually, everybody asked me, why not knight takes e4? And this is very interesting, because he takes here, take, king b1, rook takes e4, queen takes e4, unbelievable. And maybe this endgame is lost for black. I decided I couldn't go to this endgame in
Because we can explain...
Because...
if g5, for
then
instance...
it's maybe b4, or
b4.
bishop d3. He's winning the pawn and it's coming.
And just trying to queen.
Yeah, yes, but how, I mean, this bishop doesn't work. There's an extra piece.
There is a good bishop
And
against
bad bishop.
a bad bishop.
And two passing pawns.
So,
Almost lost. And after b4, for instance, he could play a4, you know. And
yes.
And that's why I decided to take my chance in this position. I decided to take my chance. I played b4, which was probably the best chance. A takes b4, check, and knight b3. At least, you know, in the time trouble is always chance. He repeated the position. And here he played queen f2. Bishop d8, queen d8, rook f7, and I made the best move here, queen e8. And he sealed the move, Karpov.
Karpov seals his move. Kasparov leaves the board. So how do the players feel about the position?
I don't know, I mean, I did maybe well, but we have to analyze. Very complicated, very complicated. Thank you.
I could already win the game.
Which move?
39 or 40 move.
The adjourned game is played the next day. The chief arbiter plays Karpov's seal move. Pawn to b5. Kasparov gives us his opinion about this.
I have to admit he's still the best move, d5, because after knight e7 or rook takes e7 is a draw. Trust me, we analyzed it, it's a draw. b5, and now everything is by force. Queen takes d4. We have to go queen e5 because king h6, bishop c4, completely lost position. Have to go queen e5, and this is an endgame. I think it's a dangerous endgame.
The game is still very complicated. Karpov plays 47, knight to e3. And the world champion counters with rook e1.
This position shows how bad we are, in chess, all human beings. Because it's just, not so many pieces. And after 10 hours of analyzing our team and 10 hours Karpov's team, we still didn't know the conclusion.
So when you came over the board,
I didn't know the
both
conclusion.
Karpov and you
Didn't know the conclusion.
didn't know what was going to happen exactly.
And I still don't know exactly.
This is a decisive moment of the game. Karpov could have created more problems for his opponent by playing king c4 on move 55, rather than king c3 as he played in the game.
Decisive mistake, king c3. After this move was draw. King c4 was the only chance. I analyzed a lot the position. Think white is winning, but it's so complicated.
You think white is winning here?
I didn't have enough time, but I think maybe white is winning, but it's not obvious yet. After king c3 is draw, definitely.
If I would play king c4 instead of king c3, Kasparov should find the only way to make draw, which he didn't see. It was clear during the adjournment when we analyzed. He didn't see this, but probably he could find this. So.
The world champion had come very close to defeat, but Karpov did not seize the opportunity. Karpov continued for 30 moves in an equal position. But finally, he had to agree a draw. So the score is 11.5 to 9.5. Kasparov needs just a half a point to retain the title. Let's chat to him after the game.
Now Saturday.
We'll see. I have a good position now, very good position.
The 22nd game of the match starts on December the 26th, 1990. On this day, Kasparov gained the half point that he needed to retain the title until 1993. Again, e4. Yet again, Karpov turns up a few minutes late. The players opt for the Spanish opening. On move 19, the champion plays knight to e4. Karpov replies almost instantly, bishop f7. Was the world champion optimistic about the position?
Probably I have to find something else instead of 94, because here it's not very pleasant for white. He's pushing a pawn and knight. Problem with position, my rook cannot come on g3, without wasting time. This position, I had a choice when I thought. One is a very aggressive move, g4, just to attack. It's not very good, for this game. Another one to play more positionally. Black has some initiative.
Karpov is really giving it everything. The champion's under pressure. On move 21, Karpov plays rook takes e1.
Rook on e1. It's a problem that if I took with queen here,
Oui.
I didn't like c4.
Le problème, c'est que s'il prenait
And
avec
it's-
la dame,
this
il
is a
avait
straight
peur
now,
de
and
C5,
my rook
C4.
Tout à fait. La
Trouble.
tour est en danger.
Yes. And that's why I had to take with knight.
Donc, le champion du monde était obligé de faire après tour prend E1 et chaque cavalier prend E1.
Et cavalier prend 1, c'était pas extrêmement bon. That wasn't
Non.
a very good move.
C'est
No, it's a good move. The position is still equal.
I played d4 after which Kasparov by force could exchange most of the pieces. Probably a5 was with more fight. Probably I should choose a5, but d4 was... Of course, black has no any danger after d4.
Here I had a choice. Bishop e4.
Donc, le coup possible, alternative, était fou E4.
Rook a7.
Maintenant,
Voilà.
tour A7.
Donc il y a une-
Knight e2.
Sur cavalier
And knight
E2,
f6.
cavalier F6,
Bishop f3.
fou F3
And d3.
et D3.
And I cannot take again because of c4.
Et on ne peut pas prendre à cause de C4.
Voilà,
The
qui
same.
cloue la dame.
The
Et
same
un
idea.
clouage donc
De
sur la
cavalier
dame.
sur la dame, oui.
And in
Okay.
this position I had another possibility.
Donc il y avait une autre possibilité dans cette position.
Knight e4.
Cavalier E4,
You have to take here.
puis on prend
And
B5.
now I'm just using this difficulty. With black's queen playing f6.
Je joue maintenant F6. J'utilise donc la position difficile des noirs.
Because it's hard to take the pawn. For
C'est
instance,
difficile
if
de
they
prendre avec
take,
le cavalier, cavalier D7 prend
then I
F6.
take,
Maintenant cavalier
take,
prend, puis on
and
prend.
this is very dangerous
Et
attack.
dame
Oui, parce que la
G4
colonne est complètement
échec.
ouverte. Hein, la colonne G, elle est tout à fait
Yes.
ouverte.
Yes. And if he plays g6, then
S'il
I
joue
go rook
G6,
g3.
Et maintenant je peux jouer tour G3.
It's very dangerous as well.
Et c'est une position très dangereuse également.
And I refuse because rook takes s3.
J'ai refusé ça à cause de tour prend A3, B prend A3, cavalier D5,
Take on
puis on
the
prend
same bishop
G7,
g7.
fou prend G7.
And this is a position when I have some attacking chances, but the
C'est une
pawns are very
position dans
dangerous.
laquelle j'ai des chances d'attaque, mais les pions noirs
Ils sont extrêmement dangereux. Hein. Il y a
extrêmement
deux pions
dangereux.
passés là,
Yes,
qui arrivent tout
yes,
droit
Yes.
vers...
Maybe still draw. I could play knight d6, but
C'est peut-être encore égal, je peux jouer cavalier D6, mais j'ai pas voulu
Too
prendre.
risky.
On move 24, Kasparov plays bishop takes a2. Karpov now has two possibilities. Either a takes b5 or c4 as he plays in the game.
if he takes on a2,
Oui.
and I take,
Le champion du monde est en train de nous expliquer que c'est un coup nécessaire, parce que si le fou avait pris en A2,
then it's, for instance,
par exemple tour prend
takes
A2,
here, I take
puis on prend
here,
tour prend A8,
and then give check and take
et il gagne un pion qui lui donne un avantage suffisant
Tout à fait
pour
suffisant.
continuer cette partie.
Now the champion plays rook takes a6. Is he looking for the draw?
Oh, I'm looking for the best move. Actually, I didn't have big choice here.
And then I think Kasparov didn't see this knight c5, after which white has 2 pawns up, but position is very, very dangerous.
And so your assessment in this position, was there any chance for you to win this game or to have a big advantage?
No, big advantage I cannot say, but it's clear that black has no any danger in this position, and white should show their skill to fight for the draw in this situation. In spite they have 2 pawns more. So Kasparov exchanged rooks, queen, and then bishop b1, and then d3.
Black has the initiative. Kasparov explains why queen a1 is too dangerous.
Dans cette position,
Because of bishop
Anatoly
f4,
Karpov ne pouvait pas jouer dame A1 à cause de
Takes
fou
bishop
F4,
e5.
dame prend, et maintenant fou
now
E5.
I'm just stopping the pawn.
Voilà.
Et donc les pions s'arrêtent d'eux-mêmes, et Garry Kasparov est très bien.
Yes, and white is better, and that's why he had to play d3 first.
The critical moment of the game will occur on move 29. Kasparov plays b3. The position is complex, but the champion should be hoping for a draw.
I had choice to sacrifice piece immediately, or to sacrifice after b3. I wanted to keep two bishops, you know.
Ouais, c'est ça.
Donc j'avais le choix entre sacrifier immédiatement ou garder une paire de fous solide au centre, et j'ai préféré garder ma paire de fous.
b3. He took on b3.
Et donc après b3, cavalier prend b3,
Took on d3.
cavalier prend d3,
Take on d3. Bishop takes
c
d3.
prend d3, fou prend
Voilà.
d3.
Maybe black is slightly better, but this is draw.
Maybe les noirs sont un peu mieux, mais
Mais
cette
c'est
position
l'avantage
devrait
qui ne
être
suffit pas.
égale.
The pawn is very dangerous.
Le pion est dangereux,
King is not very good.
le roi n'est
and I
pas
have
très
very
bien
good
placé,
bishops.
et mes fous sont très très bien
And
placés.
it's very important that I can change queens.
C'est très important que je puisse
And then
changer
draw.
les dames, et à ce moment-là,
I
c'est
mean,
nul immédiatement.
Any change of pieces, it's normal for white.
Chaque fois que j'échange une pièce donc avec les blancs,
Any
je
bishop
fais quelque
queens.
chose.
Only I
progresse vers
have
la
to
nulle.
keep his knight, you know, because knight is not a good piece.
Je
to
dois
stop the pawn.
simplement faire attention au cavalier qui peut donc arrêter le pion.
Probably I could play better when he sacrificed, but maybe Kasparov just found the only way how to save the game,
So how to make a draw.
how to make a draw in this position.
So he was fighting well also because it was not easy position for him.
Yes, yes. So he found the right solution, I believe.
When you have one piece and another opponent has pawns, and there are queens, your only chance is to organize the attack against king. It's only chance. But my king is very good.
Mais mon roi est très bien placé,
And plus,
protégé par mes
if you
pions.
go to the king side, then it's the pawn is dangerous.
Si vous allez trop vers l'aile droite, à ce moment-là, mon pion à l'aile dame devient
The
dangereux.
pawn is well protected by this bishop, and then I can move it.
Karpov is going to play his 33rd move. King to h7. Kasparov now consolidates with move 34, bishop c4.
This move. Now white is definitely not worth.
Now white stands well, but the champion's obviously looking to force a draw. He does this on move 39 by playing bishop d4. Instead, he could have pushed his b-pawn, b6. This might have even given good winning chances.
Here, okay, this is still draw. If he plays bishop e5, it's draw.
S'il joue fou e5, c'est encore
Voilà.
nul.
Mais
It's bishop e5, and this is after queen c6, he plays
Et après dame
knight
c6,
b7
cavalier
and
b7,
bishop f6. And
et
this
fou
is draw.
f6, et cette position
Voilà.
est égale.
Et-
But you know, in the time trouble,
Mais en
there are
retard
two
de temps,
obvious moves: knight b7 and knight d7.
il y a deux coups qui semblent normaux, cavalier
And
b7
they both lose.
ou cavalier d7. Et les deux perdent. Après
b7.
cavalier b7,
I played bishop d4,
fou d4,
bishop e5,
fou e5,
f6.
f6.
Now, if he takes with the queen, then
Alors si
queen
dame
a
prend,
check and
dame
queen
e8
takes
échec, suivi de dame prend,
Bien
fou,
sûr.
gagne une
He
pièce.
takes with the bishop here.
S'il prend avec le fou,
I take here,
fou prend.
and he cannot take here because I
Il ne
check.
peut pas faire dame prend
check,
échec, parce que dame
check,
e8 échec,
take
dame 4
knight.
échec et dame prend, cavalier b7, gagne
il
la
gagne la
partie.
partie.
And
Hein.
that's why in this position the only move is take here,
Le seul coup est de
and
faire
then
dame prend,
check.
pion prend,
And this is
et
very
maintenant, dame
dangerous
prend
position for
h6,
black.
et la position est
Because
très
pawn is
dangereuse.
keeping knight, and I'm
Tout à
just
fait.
pushing another pawn. Probably this position is lost.
Cette position est probablement perdue pour
And,
donc,
and
Anatoly Karpov.
for instance, if he makes another obvious move in the position, knight d7,
S'il fait un autre coup évident, cavalier d7,
I don't see the defense after queen a6.
je ne vois pas de défense après dame g6 en e6.
And it's no moves for black. For instance, if they cannot take because I take
Dame
here,
prend, pion prend,
and if knight f6, then bishop
cavalier
f4.
f6, fou f4,
And the pawn, the b pawn,
et le
the
pion
pawn is
b va à dame.
Enfin, dame.
yes, and this is very dangerous for black, and I had to try this chance probably.
C'est très dangereux pour les noirs, j'aurais probablement dû essayer cela.
But you know, I remember that draw is enough, and
Mais je me suis rappelé que la nulle était suffisante,
I played
et donc j'ai joué fou
Tout à
d4.
fait.
Karpov retreats the king to h8. Kasparov takes the draw by playing Queen E8 with perpetual check. The score is 12-10, so Kasparov retains the title. Is he ecstatic?
Yes. Yes. So what?
That's the only commentary.
Very tough. I mean, the match is, it's hard to talk now because match is not over. I have to finish this match with a good score. I mean, not to give any dissatisfaction for my new title. But anyway, I'm extremely happy because match was very difficult, very difficult. Karpov was well prepared. He played I think it's great chess, and it's I had to spend a lot of energy, and it was tough.
Game 23 starts on December the 29th, 1990. Karpov cannot win the title, but he still has hopes of drawing the match. A 12-12 tie would leave many in doubt as to who is the best player in the world today. Today, Karpov wins an effortless victory. Let's ask him about it.
I should play complicated chess today because I had no other choice. But I must say also Kasparov had the same idea to play complicated.
So d4, knight f6, c4.
I think this is a mistake already.
This is a mistake.
Yeah, it's you have to change the opening. Even without preparation, you could play, I don't know, e6 for instance here in the position, c6, and then any move, different the opening, and you win the game.
So why did you play this? Because you tell me now this is a mistake.
No, it's first of all, I didn't want to play chess anymore. It's the most important task was completed. I retained my title, and for me,
yes,
and for it was very difficult to play. And to play the new opening, you need some. You should be encouraged by something. And then I decided, okay, it's not maybe good. It's bad. I knew that it's a bad decision. But at least I know it, and I had some ideas. Let's try the old Evel is better than.
So you think that by having already 12, there is a depression,
yes,
and you don't really like to play anymore?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, and this is a bad decision.
So knight c3.
A really bad decision.
The King's Indian opening was played just as in game 21. But then, Kasparov decided to deviate on move 8. Queen h4 check. Did this surprise Karpov?
Surprise. No, this is not new move because Kasparov played I think with white against Seravan. He was close to win, but he didn't win. This is well-known queen sacrifice after g3, knight takes g3, queen f2, knight takes two bishops.
Donc c'est une partie qui est très connue. Kasparov avait joué ça avec les Blancs contre un Américain qui s'appelle Yasser Seravan, champion des États-Unis. Et là, on connaît la suite normale. Donc g3.
Knight takes g3.
Cavalier prend g3.
Queen f2.
Dame f2.
Knight takes f1.
Cavalier prend f1.
Queen takes h4.
Dame
Knight
prend
takes
h4.
e3.
Cavalier prend
Then
e3.
king e2, the best move.
Et là, roi e2, le meilleur coup.
Knight takes c4.
Cavalier prend c4.
And then black has two bishops and 2 pawns for queen. So this is unclear position with slight advantage for white. And also, a very long time ago, I had game, I think against Velimirovich, I played this variation.
Kasparov seems worried. Karpov plays g3. And Kasparov retreats his queen to e7. Is he really happy with this position?
The line is quite suspicious, you know. It's good if you have the score 10 to 12, you are losing. It's a very good choice, but not with a 12-10, because the best plan for white is to attack, yes, and he must attack.
Yes.
It's normally if Karpov had an equal score, he would think to attack or to improve, but here I had no choice. I mean, I played a suspicious variation. I started to play very risky, and it wasn't my duty. It was his duty. Okay. I think the result is a punishment for the bad psychological decision. I believe in the punishment, you know, in chess.
So, thank you. He
played by the way, I have to admit, he played the opening, his opening plan was very well. Maybe he prepared it at home, but I had troubles. He didn't have a decisive advantage after the opening. but he gave some problems to me I couldn't solve, especially in this day.
Karpov seems 20 years younger today. He grabs the initiative. Kasparov is really under pressure. He has to play knight f6 on move 13 to bring the knight closer to the centre.
So probably Kasparov was afraid of to put knight on c5, because in this case white could exchange in some variations knight on c5 and then moving pawn on g4 and to get control over white squares in the center.
Donc probablement Kasparov n'a pas voulu jouer ça, il a eu peur d'un échange donc fou contre cavalier et puis ensuite d'avoir un contrôle des cases au centre avec G3, G4.
First G4
Bien
and
sûr.
then...
D'abord G4 pour contrôler la case F4 et ensuite fou prend C5 comme nous le fait remarquer maintenant Anatoly Karpov.
So that's why he didn't want to put knight on c5.
C'est pour ça qu'il n'a pas remis son cavalier ici et qu'il est revenu donc de H5 en F6.
On move 14, Karpov plays knight f2.
So this was not easy decision because
C'était pas une décision facile.
White had another possibility to play bishop g5 immediately with the idea to play g4 next.
C'était pas une décision facile parce que les blancs avaient une autre possibilité, c'était de mettre le fou E3 en G5 avec l'idée G4, G4.
G4, yes.
D'accord.
And but then after bishop g5, black could play knight c5 immediately.
Mais après le fou en G5, à ce moment-là, les noirs peuvent mettre leur cavalier en C5, il est plus contrôlé donc par la diagonale du fou.
Bishop left this diagonal.
Parce que bien sûr le fou est parti.
And so I play knight f2, just keeping knight on a6 because now if black plays knight c5, I play g4, and then after f4 I had exchange on c5 and full control over diagonal and squares in the center.
Donc je vais essayer d'expliquer ce que nous raconte Anatoly Karpov. Si maintenant, après cavalier f2, Garry Kasparov avait joué son cavalier a6 en c5, le challenger pouvait jouer g4, et on ne peut pas enfermer le fou parce que maintenant, on prend le cavalier, fou e3 prend c5, d6 prend c5, et les blancs ont un contrôle total de la diagonale blanche.
And also e4 square,
Et la
which
case,
is very
bien sûr,
important.
e4 qui est très importante puisque les cavaliers ont un grand rôle à jouer.
Karpov pushes g4.
If black would play another move, not knight c5, then I would have maybe another moves also. But after knight c5, I have no time already. And I made all the moves just to prepare g4. If I don't play g4, then I should play another way three moves ago.
Donc, le challenger nous raconte que maintenant c'est la seule voie parce que le cavalier est bien placé ici et il faut très vite attaquer contre le roi donc, de Garry Kasparov. Et s'il n'avait pas joué ce coup-là, il aurait fallu qu'il planifie sa stratégie différemment quelques coups auparavant. Nous allons revenir donc pour voir ce qu'a joué Garry Kasparov qui vient de jouer très agressivement E5, E4. This was played very aggressively. Do you think this is a good move? Vous pensez que c'est un bon coup?
But actually, black had no other possibilities because if they exchange pawns on g4, then they give again e4 square, and if they, which is very bad, f4 for instance, then just white has fulfilled their ideas to control white diagonal and e4 square.
Donc ce que vient de nous expliquer Anatoly Karpov, c'est que si les noirs échangent en g4, f3 prend g4,
yes.
Avec donc un contrôle total de cette case et une attaque possible ensuite avec les pions
Yes,
sur l'aile droite,
H5.
H4, H5, et là on va très vite essayer de gagner le fou donc du champion du monde. Ou bien alors l'autre possibilité c'est de jouer, comme il nous le disait, F5, F4, et c'est un mauvais coup parce qu'il y a un contrôle encore total de cette case qui va permettre à Anatoly Karpov d'attaquer le roi du champion du monde qui aura du mal à se défendre. Donc la seule possibilité c'est de contre-attaquer et de jouer E5, E4. This is the only possibility.
Yeah, this is typical counter-attack in the center. And now White had different ideas also.
Et maintenant, les Blancs ont différentes idées, différentes possibilités.
But then I decided that the best one to be just to blockade this pass pawn in the center and threatening to push Black's knight.
Donc j'avais plusieurs possibilités, mais j'ai décidé d'arrêter ce pion noir au centre et de commencer à pousser mes pions blancs vers l'aile roi, vers le roi donc de Garry Kasparov.
Which is the most important moment of the game, that knight from f6 has no other squares, only g8 or e8, which is very bad.
Et c'est un moment donc critique de la partie, comme nous l'explique Anatoly Karpov. Maintenant, si le fou s'en va, le cavalier donc de Garry n'aura plus que 2 cases. Après cette attaque du pion, il pourra venir soit en g8, soit en e8. Et donc, c'est un cavalier qui n'est pas sur une case très active pour pouvoir ennuyer les pièces du challenger.
So that's why bishop e3.
C'est pour ça que dans cette position, Anatoly Karpov a joué fou g5 en e3.
So Karpov drops the bishop back to e3. And the new world champion puts his knight on the corner of the board over on a4. Karpov pushes g5, hitting the knight on f6. Kasparov trades knights on c3. Quickly, Karpov recaptures b takes c3. Kasparov's under pressure here.
So now Kasparov was thinking quite a long time.
Et maintenant Kasparov a réfléchi très longtemps avant de jouer cavalier g8.
Yes, he put it knight on g8. Of course, knight e8 just to protect bishop on g7.
Il était possible aussi de mettre donc le cavalier en e8
should be considered also.
Pour défendre le fou en g7. Ça doit aussi être pris en considération.
But on the other hand, knight on e8 is very bad placed because knight separates rooks.
Mais d'un autre point de vue, le cavalier est très mal placé puisqu'il coupe la communication entre les deux tours.
And also knight has no moves from e8. The only idea is after bishop d4
Mais et le cavalier n'a plus de case.
Protected.
La seule idée, c'est d'avoir le fou défendu par le cavalier plus tard. Mais c'est vrai que le cavalier n'a plus de case, comme nous l'annonçait maintenant Anatoly Karpov.
Karpov steps up the attack with knight g4. The world champion's position seems to be crumbling.
So I believe this was the strongest move of the game.
Et maintenant cavalier f2 en g4, et Anatoly Karpov nous annonce que c'est probablement le coup le plus fort de la partie.
Now White has an idea just to push h pawn.
Maintenant les blancs ont une idée, c'est de pousser donc le pion.
But before to do this, I just moved knight to control e5 and black diagonal.
Mais avant de pousser ce pion, donc j'ai mis mon cavalier ici pour contrôler cette case et la diagonale donc de ce fou qui peut devenir puissant.
And mostly just to block black's queen on e7.
Et aussi pour empêcher la dame de bouger, puisqu'elle n'a plus de possibilité de venir sur cette case, sinon cavalier prend la dame en e5.
Of course, it's very bad now to give up bishop, white bishop. Then
maintenant, ce serait très mauvais pour les noirs de donner le fou donc contre le cavalier, parce que les blancs peuvent prendre.
No, rook.
Avec
rook.
la tour. Excusez-moi.
Rook must take, and then
la tour doit
e4
prendre.
pawn is very hardly protected, and then black never has an idea to have counterattack on the queen side.
Donc le pion noir sera difficilement défendable et les noirs n'ont pas vraiment de contre-attaque à l'aile dame.
And so Kasparov was thinking quite long, and so he found the only way to try to get counterattack on the other side, because for instance
Kasparov
A6,
a réfléchi très longtemps et il a trouvé la seule manière de trouver donc une contre-attaque à l'aile dame.
A6 cannot be played because H4, B5, H5,
Sur A6, c'est pas possible parce que H4, B5, H5.
H5, and there is no time already for any move because H6.
Et il n'y a déjà
Just
plus le
killing
temps
idea.
pour faire n'importe quoi puisque H6 est un coup qui tue.
So that's why black should play something else. And
C'est pour
so,
ça que les noirs doivent jouer quelque chose d'autre.
so C5 was.
With his back to the wall, Kasparov decides to lash out. On move 22, he tries c5. Karpov is not intimidated. He captures the pawn en passant. Now Gary's 23rd move, bishop takes c6. Is this a blunder?
I think this was decisive mistake.
Je pense que ça, c'est l'erreur décisive donc, de Garry Kasparov. Fou D7 prend C6.
Only chance for Kasparov was just to give up with the bishop.
Donc la seule chance de Garry Kasparov, c'était de prendre le cavalier avec le fou
Just try to exploit this open B file.
et essayer d'exploiter cette colonne B ouverte. Donc après, what do you play after?
Rook takes G4.
Maintenant, je fais donc tour prend G4,
B takes C6.
B prend C6,
Then Queen takes D6.
Dame prend D6,
Queen B7.
Dame B7.
And so in my calculations, first I thought that Queen D7 was winning.
Dans mes calculs, j'avais pensé d'abord que Dame D7 gagnait.
Probably Kasparov also saw this move and he decided it was immediate loss.
Probablement Kasparov a aussi vu la même chose et il a cru que c'était aussi perdu pour lui.
But after Queen A6,
Mais après Dame A6,
it's not so clear because
c'est pas si facile parce qu'après Fou D4,
Bishop D4, then Queen A3 check,
Dame A3 échec,
King D2,
Dame D2,
and then what can we do? Then probably this check.
et maintenant Dame,
No, just a moment, not
Dame
this
B2,
set.
pas cet échec.
97,
Maintenant
97.
Cavalier E7,
97, very important.
un coup très important.
Black protects bishop on G7,
Les noirs donc défendent leur fou indirectement en bloquant la dame.
and my queen on G7 is not very nice now.
Et ma dame maintenant n'est pas très bien en D7.
That's why I would play other way.
C'est pour ça que j'aurais joué d'une autre manière.
After Queen B7,
Après Dame B7,
I would play Bishop D4 immediately,
j'aurais joué Fou D4 immédiatement,
which is very strong because
qui est très fort.
on one very important thing. If I exchange on G7, then I exchange queens and I'm winning easily.
D'accord.
But-
Donc si j'échange sur G7, donc le fou, à ce moment-là, je vais échanger les dames et je gagne très facilement. Après Dame là, je gagne facilement cette partie.
Yeah, that's why Rook B8 is not possible now. Otherwise, Black would mate me.
D'accord. C'est pour ça que cette possibilité est exclue. Il y a un mat bien sûr possible, mais là, comme nous le disait Anatoly Karpov, fou prend, roi prend, et puis dame échec, on échange les dames et les blancs gagnent.
But one very important thing that after Rook A to D8 or F to D8
Mais
doesn't matter.
une chose importante, après tour A D8 ou tour F en D8,
Queen B4 is very important move.
Dame B4 est un coup très important.
So I take this F file and also I exchange two pieces after which I'm clearly winning.
Donc
Because Queen must go to F7
la dame doit partir en F7.
and then I can take even on E4 with the bishop.
Et maintenant, je peux prendre le pion en E4.
So this is the main thing. But still it was more complicated than Kasparov played.
Mais c'était la seule manière donc pour Garry Kasparov de continuer à rester dans la partie.
Anatoly Karpov pushes his pawn on the wing with h4. Gary lashes out with d5. This looks like a mistake. Karpov simply c takes d5. Now where does the bishop go? The world champion just gives up the bishop. Is he bluffing?
Kasparov tried some last tricks in the game.
Karpov, not to be bluffed, grabs the bishop on d5. Kasparov plays rook c8, hitting the pawn on c3. Very calm play by Karpov. He offers the exchange of queens. Surely white's winning now.
This was last trick of Kasparov.
Fou d4, c'était le dernier piège de
Rook
Kasparov.
takes c3.
Tour prend c3, échec.
Then if bishop takes, queen a3 check and mate.
Si fou prend c3, maintenant dame a3, échec. Et sur roi b1, dame
Queen
prend c3.
With some chances to mate, yes.
Avec de bonnes chances donc de poser des problèmes au roi blanc.
And after rook c3, if white plays king b1, king d2 is still winning. But if king b1, then
Maintenant, si
king
les
b4
blancs
check,
jouent roi b1, donc dame b4, échec.
king a1,
Roi
and then
A1,
rook c1
et maintenant un
check,
très joli sacrifice de tour qu'aurait pu faire le champion du monde. Tour C1, échec. Tour prend C1.
bishop takes d4 check,
Fou prend D4, échec.
and
Et donc c'est ou bien mat, ou bien Anatoly Karpov doit donner sa dame. Dame prend D4, dame prend D4, échec. Et avec la dame de plus, le champion du monde aurait pu gagner cette partie.
but queen d6, and after this black would resign immediately.
Mais après le coup donc, qui a été joué dame D6, comme on va le voir cet après-midi donc, au Palais des Congrès,
Queen d6 then, the simple way to win. And Garry Kasparov grabs the c-pawn with check. Karpov puts the king safely on b1. Kasparov's hoping for a miracle with queen f7. Karpov plays accurately, bishop to d4. And Kasparov concedes defeat. So Kasparov's lead is cut to 12-11 with just one game to go. The 24th and final game of this amazing World Championships started on December the 31st, 1990. Kasparov leads 12-11. The challenger needs to win again to tie the match. Kasparov has the white pieces and we can expect him to put up the barricades.
I told you before game 23 that it's, I didn't want to play it, you know. For me, the match was over, and it's like after the end of marathon, you should run 3,000 meters extra. Why? But I understood that I couldn't allow to lose the game. At least to stop these rumors about the setup in the match and so on. And for me, it wasn't so easy. You know, I knew how to beat Karpov with white, or at least how to make his life very difficult. But how to make a draw with white, I didn't learn it.
So you think your choice that
I think it was the best choice. I mean, I didn't want to profiliate move e4. You know, e4 saved my title. I mean, it was a move to crush Karpov defense. To play e4 for draw, you know, it's a very bad taste. I should play something more solid and another move. But it's knight f3 is.
Most of professionals, especially on the top level, know then that knight f3 is the most secure and most quiet opening. So after knight f3, white has no any danger to lose the game if they want to make draw. And I could recall my match with Korishna when I had one point ahead before the last game in 1974, I also started with knight f3 because after knight f3, no escape from the draw, and it's very difficult to find a real fight after knight f3. So I think this was the right choice of Kasparov.
So you think this is the right choice? It doesn't show that he really wants to make a draw, and it can bring him to...
No, he showed immediately with the move and how he made the move that he was ready for a draw any moment of the game.
Psychology is important in chess. A player in a dominating position has a tendency to relax. Perhaps Karpov is counting on this, but Kasparov is taking no risks. He wants the gold and diamond trophy and the multi-million-dollar first prize. Kasparov ponders and finally plays d3. And now the world champion explains why he was unhappy with his next move.
After rook e1, white is slightly better.
So e4 was probably...
e4 was good. If he played d5, then I play rook e1, and I have good position, because if he closes, I have strong center. If he takes here, because he cannot take twice here, it's mate on g7.
Yes, we can show it, because after bishop takes,
rook
takes, knight takes,
mate.
This is mate.
And now I think Kasparov made mistake. He played e4, after which he should suffer a little bit, because he considered d5, which is quite clear. But in reality, there is no sense to open center or to put my pawn to d4, because then we get structure of King's Indian, and then black has no any plan to develop initiative in the center, but white is better on both sides, on queen side and king side, and they have two bishops. This quite known advantage. But a6, this move Kasparov didn't see, I believe, when he played e4.
One inaccuracy often prompts another. That's what happened to the world champion when he played c4 takes b5. What does Karpov think about the move?
Then I was surprised with probably next 10 moves of white, because from equal position, Kasparov could play rook a to b1, bishop c3. So just not to make any action.
So you mean he could play this?
And bishop c3, yes, and just to keep the position, I have any ideas.
And this is equal?
This is absolutely equal, with some chances for white in the future because of two bishops. Instead, Kasparov lost nerves, or...
So you think this was another crucial moment of the match?
Yes, sure. Kasparov just could not keep tension anymore. And he wanted to make draw immediately.
To finish immediately.
And then he got big problems, and probably he had lost position.
I played here, I did a very bad move. I took on b5.
Yes, this was very strange.
No, it's not, actually it's not a bad move. It's not a good positional idea, but actually I could take here with pawn, and if he takes with the pawn, then I play a4. It's a good one. If he takes with a knight, then I play knight f3, it's a draw. Now it's a game for the draw, but after knight b3, e5, black is better.
Now black is better.
It's, it's the result of the tension of the last game. Black is better because they have an advantage in the center. They can attack here, and sometimes they can take, play d5, and it's...
So how did you feel inside of you at that moment of the game? Because
very
you knew.
Bad. Very bad. Yeah, I think I made a good move, f3. It doesn't look great, but you know, you have to protect this e4 square. Karpov tried h5, and here I made another mistake. I must go h4. And after h4, maybe black is slightly better, but nothing dangerous, because still attack here, and I have two bishops. You know?
And you can maybe go here with your bishop later on.
Because I just decided to go b takes c5.
So you think this is another mistake to take here and play a4?
Another mistake. a4, because I expected b4 and now h4. But Karpov made a very good move, h4. And now position is very bad, because if I take here, he take and play knight h5. You know, I cannot protect this pawn. And this position is bad for white. I think I made the only move, just practical best chance, play g4. Doesn't look great.
So what are the chances at that moment for black
advantage
to
for
win
black.
the game? 70% chances?
75%.
75 even. So how
Bad news for Karpov's fans.
Karpov pushes c4.
Karpov plays c4, you know, it's tension.
In the situation of the match before was the best. Probably c4 is stronger what I played.
Yes.
But just if we consider
To keep the tension still.
the situation in the match, it's much more difficult for white to play after b4 than after c4, because c4 forces the situation.
Yes, but why did you play c4 if you have the choice and you are a player who is known to can keep the position for hours and hours? Why did you finally maybe you wanted to get rid of the match, you wanted to finish immediately, you couldn't stand the tension?
No,
What happened exactly?
Just for 1 or 2 minutes I lost control over myself, and I just missed very simple way. After c4, only move, b takes a4, bishop a3. When I calculated all the variations with c4 or b4, I just thought that anyhow, queen e6, queen d8, white can't play knight c5 because queen b6, and I just forgot rook b1, queen a7, which I saw, and then I forgot that queen takes a4, and taking my queen on a7.
So you forgot this line after
Rook
this.
b1, queen a7, queen takes
Queen
a4.
takes a4, and now white is a pawn up.
Yes.
c4, you know, it's tension. D takes c4, b takes c4, and now I'm sure he calculated some combinations, rook a4, knight c5, and it's bad for white.
But after knight c5, this is bad, because probably bishop a3.
Bishop a3, then rook takes b3.
But after queen
No,
takes...
this rook is hanging. Queen takes b3, knight takes b3, and rook is hanging. No, I think he calculated it properly, but I think he overlooked possibility bishop a3. Now the bishop is getting stronger, much stronger. Anyway, after the queen e6, black is better, still much better. But at least I have some chances, you know, to protect, because I have good bishop and his bishop doesn't play. He played queen d8, and after knight c5, it's not so dangerous for white anymore.
This moment already I lost most of my advantage. I missed it. Of course, I should.
How did you feel at that moment inside
play.
of you, when you saw that you probably...
No, I was very disappointed, of course, at this moment.
So now you relaxed after this move?
No, I was still tensioned, but I felt that the most dangerous is behind me. He played bishop c6, I don't know, it's pawn sacrifice. He wanted to keep queens, but I won the pawn, you know. Now there's no this dangerous pawn. He could combine, you know, this dangerous pawn in the end game and attack. Now there's no pawn, and he cannot use this square for his rook anymore. It's important. And I have only problems here. Okay, fine, it's not... If you have problems in one side, it's not dangerous. So take here. I change knights again, rook c3. I think its position is equal. Black has enough compensation, and he should check give check first, and then queen a5. He put queen a5 immediately, and after rook d3, now black should be very...
Black is lost.
No, it's not yet lost. I mean, I think the position is still not so clear. He made here another mistake. I think it says bishop a4, queen e1, probably, I don't remember. Oh, queen c7 was the only move. If bishop c6, queen takes c4. Not clear. I mean, black is worse, but it's not clear. He made a move queen a6, and after this move he's lost. Bishop c1, he is losing the material, because if he takes here, I play rook c3, queen d4, bishop e3. It's hanging. He made probably the only move, knight d6, rook a3, bishop e3, queen d6, what else? And here I made my move, rook takes a4, and I made a very unique draw for draw, as I said, was a position of the big strengths.
So this was a very fair...
Not fair. I mean, I knew the result. I think it's enough. The game was completely won. Black should resign.
But people saw it as a very fair thing from
not-
your
it's-
part because
it's not
the
fair.
match was very tough and it was a very fighting style. From
Yeah, no, it was, yes, maybe it was fair, but it was a pure decision. I mean, the match was over for me. I played, these 2 additional games, and I didn't want to win the game. The position is completely winning. She should resign. I have plenty of time in 5 moves to adjourn. Resigning without an adjournment. The game was won. But, show, I don't need it.
Kasparov plays his 36th move and proposes a draw to Karpov, who is in no position to refuse. So Kasparov wins the match 12.5 to 11.5, demonstrating that he's the strongest player in the world today. And it's good to see the players after the match analysing together.
I take this opportunity to wish Happy New Year for chess fans and then French public, and yes, it's already New Year in my country.
See you guys.
So as you could see with our analysis, so I could win today. I missed better position and good chances to beat Kasparov. So I played very good game actually, but then I made mistake in one move. I just wrongly sacrificed pawn. I should protect this pawn, and then I had much better position. So, but this is a game.
What's happening?
These chances.
What's happened in 3 years, according to you?
Well, we shall see. We shall see. I will play. I will fight.
You think you still have chance to beat this man, or you start to have
Of course. Why not?
What's he? How can you beat him?
Hmm?
Do you have a strategy? How do you know how you can beat him?
No, now first I have to think about how to beat others, and then to make strategy how to beat Kasparov. But I think in these matches, in this last 2 matches, I had good chances. So I missed in Sevilla, and unfortunately I missed here.
Thank you.
I think Kasparov was over after game 20, which he won. And so if I would be even a little bit more lucky, then I could get back all the point difference.
Thank you. How can you explain that in critical moments, in all your matches with Karpov, in the critical moment, he collapsed completely? How he doesn't stand the pressure, or you are able to stand the pressure much more than him?
It happened in 5 matches.
Yes, but
In every
always
match.
in the important game.
Yes, he lost all important games.
But once you said that the difference between a great champion and the other is this critical moment when you win the game, when you make the decision.
Yes, I can repeat it again. I think Karpov, maybe it's a problem that Karpov never played match against the champion of his time, Fischer. And that's why he is not ready for the big fight. He never had an opponent of his strengths. And that's why he wasn't ready for the big match against me in 80s.
Oh, I should win several games which I didn't.
How do you explain that Karpov was most of the time in time trouble and you had a very good control of your time in the games?
That's the only success of my psychological preparation for the match. I mean, I could prepare myself not to waste time and to control my time. Not to just one the game's 3. I wasted my advantage, being in time trouble. I had an almost winning position. That's all. Normally, I had enough time to think about the position, and it's important. And Karpov, he's quite heavy now, I understand, as a player. He was a little bit afraid to make decisions, and in every game, I was behind him on time. And actually, I think I spent 4.5 hours less than Karpov. 4.5 hours.
You already made the conclusion about the hours in this match.
Yeah, but it's one of my coaches calculated. 4.5 hours.
So this is a lot, because
This is quite a lot.
it means you can make your decisions much quicker than Karpov, and it means you have more confidence in a way.
Yes, absolutely.
chances?
Okay, we already changed the image of chess. It's a big attractive sport now. Now we have to change rules. I think we should eliminate timeouts. We should think what to do with adjourned games, with time control. Maybe it should reduce the length of the match. I believe that we'll have the serious market research, serious research of the game, and 993 will play the match. I will play the match against the challenger under the rules which fit the public, TV, media, and the players.
Now we have competition, not only two main players, but competition of the teams. When you have adjournment, maybe in 2 years it will be competition of computers during adjournment, because one team would use the help of one computer, another team of another. And I believe that we must eliminate these adjournments as much as possible.
I have to admit that I needed Karpov to be Kasparov as I am today.
He forced me to study chess and to learn many things, and I forced him. So he improved because he played with me, I improved because I played with him. So this is just mutual influence over each other.
Chess is a fight of two different, types, and it's and maybe it's our fight is well placed at the chessboard.
Spassky is associated with Fischer, and Fischer is associated with Spassky because they played match for the world title. And for 10 years my name was associated with Korichna because we were playing for the world title. And now we are playing for 7 years already with Kasparov.
It's a great chess player and the only appropriate opponent for me in the chess world.
I declare Garry Kasparov world champion 1990.
FIDE President Florencio Campomanes has just crowned Garry Kasparov world champion for the 4th time in a row. This marathon match, which started in New York, lasted 84 days and the players spent more than 130 hours facing each other. Garry Kasparov will defend his title again in 1993. But who will be there to challenge him? Since 1985, when he became the king of the chess world, he has crushed all opposition in match and tournament play. We must all pay tribute to the courage and tenacity of Anatoly Karpov, which helped to make the match so spectacular. And look at Kasparov. After such a long match, and he's still not too tired to take on Lyon's mayor, Michel Noir. And he seems to be doing rather well. Yet another victory to Kasparov. And all that's left for us to say is see you again in 1993, Garry.